I'm here with TCU quarterback Max Duggan and defensive lineman Ochaun Mathis. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good, how are you?
Good.
I'm good, man. I'm good. All right, so I was just commenting on Max's shoe game, which is outstanding, and I was commenting on Ochaun's hair. All right, y'all usually got fashion like this?
Not so often. I just come business, just casual, just anything I can find in the morning.
You just came out of bed like this, huh?
Yeah, I just look this good.
Max, what was the choice for?
You know, trying to look a little nice today. You know, every day you go to workouts, you're looking a little rough. You know, you don't have to dress up too much going to workouts, so got to get out a little bit, dress up.
Nah, man, I hear that. And the last time I saw you guys, and you would never have remembered this, but it was in high school football. Max, you particularly at the opening. And I got to say, whatever workout y'all been on, whatever y'all been fed, y'all got so much bigger. Like, do you feel that way?
Yes, sir. Coach Summers right there, our strength coach, getting you right.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting you right.
My goodness. All right, so to your teammates a little bit. Max, this is for you. I look at Tay Barber, I look at QJ, look at Marcel Brooks, I look at Zach Evans. How do you feel about your offense?
Yeah, we got a lot of kids coming back. Obviously, you got a lot of talent. We got a stable of running backs that's coming with us. O-line done a tremendous job this spring. So, really, yeah, we got a lot of talent on offense, but, you know, that means, you know, very little right now. I mean, that's what everybody's doing is just all talk. But when you get to the season, you just got to put it together. We understand that you're playing in a league with a lot of talented teams, a lot of good units. We just got to figure out a way to put it together and, you know, have a high explosive offense going this year.
I hear you. Ochaun, when we think about TCU, no disrespect, we think about the defense, okay?
Right.
You got to replace some dudes in the secondary, but you also got some real studs in that front six for y'all running the 4-2-5. Who are you most excited about on that front six?
It's a handful of guys. Two guys that stand out. Of course, they play right now. They play defensive end. As Kyrie Coleman and Dylan Horton.
Yeah.
Dylan Horton, he's been working his butt off just as much as me and Kyrie have, and he's going to come out for sure and ball out. And Kyrie, he's doing his thing. Growing up has been tremendous for him, and he's learned many plays with just quick apprehension. So he's really good with just taking the information and being able to perform. So
I'm going to frame this up, and I want to hear y'all's response to it. Do you ever ask Coach Patterson to take a step back because it's game on?
No.
Okay. Max.
No, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Yeah, you got to be easy around it. Got to be easy around him.
Oh, that's in reference, obviously, to Coach and his musical career. And he dropped a single last summer. I think it was Take a Step Back. How did you guys learn that Coach was into making country music?
Well, I'll say it was during quarantine. So
okay.
we you know, you had a lot of time on your hands, not a lot going on. He was done writing scripts, done going over film, and, you know, he broke it out on Twitter that, you know, he was releasing a single. And, you know, right when that happened, all those songs got put on our practice playlist. So, yeah, we listened to them. So you got pretty good at them. You know, we know all the lyrics, so we're used to them now.
Yeah.
Ochaun, similar story?
Similar story. Came in during COVID. He just happened to stop me by when I was going to academics, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you should hear my song." He was like, he just showed me, and I was like, "Oh, it was really good actually." So, and then next thing you know, he posted it on Twitter like 30 minutes later.
I love that Coach is walking around with the SoundCloud link.
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
I love it.
Got his mixtapes going on.
You know what I'm saying, right? It's very Dallas. It's very Dallas Fort Worth. All right. So I want to get into going into this season, right? And I'm going to ask a couple of questions that are looking forward to some games. You guys have had, a really intensely good record against this other team, Texas, called Texas. Is there something about playing that school that you get up for, or you just game plan it?
Well, I'll say, you know, we've been fortunate enough to play well against them the last 2 years, and obviously when you go play in Austin, or, you know, they get to come to our place, it's going to be a big game. Always a good team, always a good program, you know, the history in it. But it's really just, you know, just showing up, you know, being able to play your game, you know, not making it, you know, bigger than it has to be, but just focusing on yourself, control when you need to. But yeah, we've just been fortunate enough to play well against them. You know, we're going to try to keep it going against a good team like them.
Ochaun, what about you?
Basically just, you know, just knowing that they're a high caliber team, just well known across the country. Just bringing the intensity is just what gets us to go out there and ball out.
Right on, right on. So before I let you guys go, I took the liberty of putting together what I thought was the all-time best offense and defense ever in the Big 12. Defense, offense. I would love for y'all to take a look at that. Tell me who I missed, who I got wrong, who you would replace.
Okay, I see. I'm glad Kenneth Murray is on here because I played against him and he was not fun to play against. Sue, Vaughn.
Vince is on here. Adrian Peter, C.D. Lamb. Okay.
I'm trying to think about what was this.
Cedric
Is this
Wilson.
okay? So this is all time. Okay, so this is you don't have to be in the Big 12 now, obviously, because
Obviously.
Nebraska and
Obviously.
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 Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's looking pretty good. What about
Yeah, I don't see. I don't have any doubts of this. This is really spot on. To be honest.
Coach Patterson tried to sneak LT by me. I'm like, he ain't playing Big 12.
Yeah, man. Where's LT, man?
Nah, he
didn't play Big 12,
He ain't play
Oh,
Big
for
12.
real?
He ain't play Big
Yeah,
12.
I forget.
Yeah.
I forget they were in Mountain West.
Oh, I like this.
This is really good,
I
actually.
like this.
Well, switch. Maybe you'll find something to contend with.
Derek Johnson, Sean Witherspoon, Kenneth Murray. Kenneth
All
Murray's
right.
a good player. Von Miller.
People
Earl
forget,
Thomas,
man.
Earl Thomas. I forgot he went to Texas. I don't know why I did. Yeah, these are spot
Blackman
on.
was such a stud. Oh my goodness.
Hey, man, it's that same era of Johnny Football. Yeah.
He was
Sure.
so good.
Yeah, I think these are spot on
All right.
for sure. Yeah, and Earl Thomas being
Who's
at
the
the top.
old
he was
running
hard
back?
in
Who's
it.
the old running back from Texas? Got drafted to the Saints.
Ricky Williams?
Yeah, Ricky Williams.
I mean,
No, hey,
Rick-
look, a lot of people want to argue about it. But I got to
do
say, who you take it off?
Do you ever get hate on the quarterback? You ever get stuff like
Oh,
people
yeah.
want Baker or
Oh, yeah.
Kyler or
Oh,
something?
yeah. All the time. All the time.
I feel like it's probably like younger generation that didn't watch Vince Young.
Look,
Like guys that didn't watch Texas when they were at.
see, Max, this is why we get along here, right? You got a sense of history, a sense of longevity.
Yeah.
I got dudes that's like, yo, I'm going to take him off because I never heard of this dude. Like, yo, that was literally 10 years ago. What do you mean you never heard of that? You were around for
That's what I'm
that.
saying. They going off the last thing that's in their head.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, right? And I'm looking, man, no. Because Ricky Williams, certainly you got to think about that.
For sure.
Because, like, man, yeah.
Rayola was so mean, dude. I mean, I grew up 45 minutes away from Lincoln.
Okay.
So
there you go. I
I remember him. I loved him. Like I wasn't able to watch him play, but like I remember like my dad and everybody telling me about him. So I like it.
See, I get to tell my colleagues there is a TCU player that remembers when that team was once really, really good. And now, you guys are in a position to create your own legacies. I want to ask you about what you're leaving before I let you go. And by that, I mean you have some true freshmen that I'm very high on, one of which is Shadrach Banks. What do you think about where you are leaving TCU versus where you began?
Really, when you think about that question, like obviously what everybody says, you want to leave it in a better spot. But what you want to do is when you leave, like you want kids, recruits to want to go play there, and that's how I was when I was coming out of high school. Like I remember the 2014 team, TCU. You remember the Andy Dalton Rose Bowl. You remember those teams and what they did. And you're like, dang, like I want to go play at TCU. Like I remember all this. It creates that imagery in your head, and I think that's what that's what we want to do. We want to create that mindset of TCU's playing well. Like they're playing in the Big 12. They're competing in the Big 12 for Big 12 championships. They got a fun offense. They're moving the ball. Defense. I mean, it's gritty. It's tough. It's physical. I think that's what I want to. I want to leave it with that with TCU of being those guys in the state of Texas and being those guys in the Big 12 that people want to go to, people want to be a part of, and so.
Yeah, and that along with just being able to leave and just having a legacy just sitting here for you, just be able to come back and people will remember who you are, and then just helping support the team as well, just having recruits come in and stuff like that, and just knowing that you went there and they were like, oh, I would like to go there too. This guy went there, he was successful and stuff like that, so it's great to see.
Right on. Max Duggan, Ochaun Mathis, thank you so much.
Sir,
It's
AJ.
been a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
RJ, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I'm here with Texas Christian head coach Gary Patterson. Coach, how you doing?
Oh, we're awesome. Yeah, it's everybody just after going through last year, I think everybody's excited about how the season is, what's going on, and so it's I think we're all kind of wanting to get this next couple weeks through, and so everybody can get to camp.
So I sit on the selection committee for the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, so I got to see you and Trayvon accept the award on behalf of TCU. What is it about producing defensive backs that you seem to get a kick out of? Because when I look at the league, I see your guys all over it.
Well, I think you got to evaluate. I tell people we'd all like 5-star talent, but I want 2-star work ethic. I think if you get that, and then a lot of our guys, I had some guys. We've had a lot of NFL guys come back through the weight room starting to come back the last couple of weeks, and you look at them. Some were 2 stars, 3 stars, and I think biggest thing is they want to. And go through the process. I think TCU's built, because even as a defensive head coach, that's at least what they call me. I think we had 12 offensive linemen in the league last year, and so I think I'm all in. When I can be out in the off season, I'm out in the off season. I think some of us, we take things like we're the CEO, and I've always felt like, I'm going to use every day that they give me to make sure I develop our guys and do it. And I think it's proven itself going forward that we could do that. And so, that's the part of my job I like the most, really, to be honest with you, is being able to develop and take guys that maybe some people said they never have an opportunity and give them an opportunity to get into camp and make it. So, that's the fun part.
I get a kick out of it too. I get a kick out of seeing these kids that have played a completely different position that you'll look at and say, oh no, I think you play linebacker. And then I'll watch the dude go play linebacker. Ty Summers is an example of this for me, right?
Yeah.
Another example of this for me would be LJ Collier. Like, I'm looking at these guys. How do you evaluate those players before they even get to campus?
Well, you just have to think outside the box, and when we first started, we couldn't get defensive linemen, so I was going to have to go, and if I wanted the kind of guys we wanted to be able to play with, I was going to have to go recruit other positions that were more athletic than the guys that were recruitable at the time that people said were defensive linemen. LJ was a tight end. You take a Jerry Hughes, who was a running back. We used to be, I think it was 2005 or somewhere around there, where I think out of our top 11 defensive linemen, 8 had been tailbacks in high school. And so, that's how but you have to have then an off season that you have a strength coach and a program, that'll get them bigger and stronger so they can play that position and do all of it. And so it has to be a complete plan. It's not any part of that circle when you're trying to develop that falls apart or doesn't, it's got a weak point. It's not going to allow it to go forward. And we've been able to perfect when a kid comes in, if he stays within the process and goes through the maturation process of growing up, stronger, faster, and if he has the ability, I think that's what people understand. It's just being able to see the ability. I didn't see Jerry Hughes play defensive end time, except it was the last year. We could be in the spring. He was at a practice. I saw him one down. They put him over there for some reason, and I saw him turn the corner. They run a counter, and he sunk his hips and chased it. And and we were there actually to see 2 other guys. I said, I don't care about the center. I don't care about the linebacker. That's the only guy I want to recruit. And now 11, he's still in the leagues going on 11, 12 years now. So, those, be able to see guys be able to go forward and then them to tell their story. I get too much credit, I think, on that. It's still about the process, how my assistants evaluate, because they bring them here, how you do things, and then how does the system once we get them there, from academics, how working towards a graduation, the small classroom size at TCU, to Donnie Summers in the weight room, to everybody that touches them. I think people understand if there's a cancer somewhere in there, they don't like kids or they're not part of it. That's a problem. And so we got a great program going on at all levels of our program that love being around kids. So
you're beginning to recruit like one of these quote unquote 5-star factories, though, Coach, because I look at a guy like Marcel Brooks, and that was a dude that, he's got a national title ring, and I love watching him come out of Flower Mound. You got a dude like Shadrack Banks who going to play some linebacker for you.
In fact, he looks pretty good so far.
Okay.
I've seen around.
See, that's the thing. Like, those 2 are examples, because, correct me if I'm wrong, one's playing wide receiver that was playing linebacker, one's playing linebacker who's playing wide receiver.
Yep.
How do you convince the kids who are blue chip recruits to follow you on this?
Well, it's easier now.
Okay.
Because, you have history.
Okay.
That when you move somewhere, they can see themselves being that. There's history to be able to do that. And so in Shadrack's, case, we've had about all of our linebackers never played linebacker in high school. They were safeties or they were running backs, and that's what Shadrick is. He was a running back / inside H back type of guy. And he's a lot like Zach Evans. In fact, though, out of North Shore, they're both really smart dudes. And a little bit of conversation talking about football. He doesn't really get distracted real quickly like a lot of young guys do. Now, when we get into camp, it'll go a lot faster. But it's been fun. It's been fun. Everybody has a lot more fun when you're working with a better piece of clay, right? Before you fold it, when you know that they have all the different elements to be somebody, and then it's our job not to screw them up. And so, it's, hopefully we'll keep doing what you want to get us to is we keep recruiting where we have to have less and less guys that you already know what exactly they are when they get there. That's what we had to do a long time ago, and we still do it a little bit, but we don't have to do it as much.
Zach Evans is absolutely one of those guys for me. He's the guy that I've been very excited to see, and what I got to see last year, I really was enthusiastic about. What do you expect from him in 2021? Well,
he made the academic Big 12 honor roll. He was a 3.75 GPA. Him and the rest of the running backs, I think, one of the things people are going to find out about us is that because we have 4 guys that are pretty good, really pretty good players, not as many carries. Now, that may hurt a guy a little bit as far as, you got to see those numbers. But over a 4-year run, you also take less pounding. And so a guy, when he gets to be a junior or senior, he has the opportunity to be a lot healthier going into the league. And that's what Zach has. And, again, a guy that has done all that. It's like a D. Winters that was a safety, running back, wide receiver at little 2A school, Burton. And you change them around, but they have things in common. They love the game, and they're smart players on the field and academically. And so as a coach, it's just so much easier to coach guys like that. And Zach's one of those guys that, came with a history of, we haven't seen any of that with Zach there. He works hard. He's a great practice player. Academically, obviously, we just talked about how he's done school and done things. And so when you have all those kind of things, which he obviously, because he graduated early from high school, you knew he was. He just needed, and one of the reasons why he chose TCU, he wanted to go somewhere like we've been there now 24 years, that there was some consistency. That's what he was looking for, some consistency in a program so he could navigate and become who he wants to become. And I think that's one of the positives of TCU, what we've had is that you have the consistency to be able to move forward with it.
Yeah, Coach, I think that's testament to the environment that you've created over time, and Zach is evidence of that. I want to switch gears to what I think are a few more, fun questions. What was the last job you had before being a coach?
Before being a coach?
Yes, sir.
I think I was a bartender in college.
Oh, yeah?
That's how you made it through. I wasn't on scholarship. I had academic scholarship. So.
Is this Junction City or is this?
Manhattan.
Wow.
Yep.
Down Aggieville.
Yep.
Did you like that job?
Mother's Worry was the name of the bar, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you do whatever you can because you got a free sandwich at the end of the night. So I got something to eat and I got tips. I mean, I was a terrible bartender, to be honest with you. Terrible bartender.
Football player. No.
I was good at talking to people. I wasn't good at the right mixes. So
I can pour you a beer. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that was only 40 years ago. So.
Well, no, but that is a big part of who you are, I think, is these little things that come up that you have to do to get where you're going.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Coach. Coach, last thing before I let you go. I put together what I thought of as an all-time Big 12 team. I would like you to take a look at it, tell me what you think, and tell me who I missed.
There's so many good players that played in the league. I mean, everybody that you have on here are all great players, to be honest with you. He didn't play in the league, but he played at TCU. A guy like LT, did they play at TCU or did they play in the Big 12?
Well, did they play in the Big 12? Because you had an argument that I can't ignore with LT.
Yeah, and so we've had some really good players, but yeah, I think Jason Verrett, corner, was. Any of our first rounders, I think, especially the way he played. Jerry Hughes didn't play in the league. He didn't play in the league, but Jason Verrett did. just at TCU, and a couple of our offensive linemen. Marcus Cannon's won 3 Super Bowls. But again, he was right before we went in the conference. He was 2010 because this was his 11th season. So we've had guys I think that were good enough to be able to play, to be part of that group.
Coach, Jason Varish put the fear of everybody into me, man. Like that dude on the corner. It's like, hey, why are we still throwing over there? Let's not. And this was, I want to say 2013, because I come up watching your team enter the league and then watch your team take over the league. I wish you guys would do something like that this year. You got a bunch of dudes that I really love watching in high school. You got a bunch of kids that I'm really rooting for. Zach, Max, Tay, QJ. I mean, how do you feel about your team?
Well, yeah, like I've said, out in the deals, great chemistry. We were younger. Now we got a chance to be older. You were 3 points from an Iowa State team. It's really the only game that you weren't really in. I didn't think we played very well at West Virginia of the 4 losses. Kansas State probably should have won. And so if you look at it, I think you have a chance. And a lot of these teams have they have guys coming back, but I think we have a chance for our ceiling to be a lot higher because of the potential. Because a lot of guys that haven't played now, you got to replace 3 really good guys on defense. They're in camps, and then 2 tight ends. But outside of that, I think we have an opportunity to move forward. So
very cool. Well, TCU coach Gary Patterson, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you, Coach.
See ya.
Yes, sir.